Welcome to Flip Lesson 74 for 5th grade. Today we're going to look at units of length. And so we start by looking at this chart where we look at some of the relationships that you should know or need to know to do this lesson. So we see that 12 inches equals 1 foot. We see that 3 feet equals 1 yard. We see that 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. And also 1,760 yards equals 1 mile. And so what we want to do with this today is not just understand that there are units of length, but how do we use these units of length to help us convert from one unit to another unit. Let's take a look at this problem. All right. It says 3 yards is the same length as how many inches? By doing this, I started by putting a picture there for you to help you understand exactly what we're talking about. We know 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Okay? So we see 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet. Right? And we also know the relationship between a foot and inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. So it would be easy to say by looking at this picture that 1 yard is 3 feet. And 1 yard is 12 inches plus 12 inches plus 12 inches to give us a total of 36 inches equals 1 yard. And so we have that idea. However, the problem asks us for 3 yards. All right, so if 1 yard equals 36 inches, then 3 yards, we would take 36 times 3 and get an answer of 108 inches. So in the end, our answer would be 108 inches. Since 36 are in 1 yard, 108 must be in 3 yards. So we have these conversions. We also can look at conversions in terms of the metric system, right? 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. And 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. And so we have those relationships, which we've studied before. And so now we want to kind of look at this idea. It says one basketball player is 198 centimeters tall. About how many meters tall is the basketball player? Since we know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, and we see that 198 is our number, we can, since it says about, we can estimate. So we can make that about 200 centimeters. And so 200 centimeters would be about how many meters? It would be about 2 meters. Since 100 equals 1, 200 must equal about 2. And so we have that example. Now, since we have all this information, we can use it to help us solve some problems. It says the snowball 10K race, that's the name of a race, is run every year in the middle of winter. A 10K race is about 6.2 miles. It says use compatible numbers to determine how many yards long the race is. All right. So compatible numbers, right? A number that is reasonable. Right? So if I'm looking at this distance, 6.2, I could probably take that down to 6 miles. Right? But now I want to convert that into yards. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out, well, if I have 1 mile, how many yards do I have? And of course, that would be 1,760. So if I want to know 6 miles, I'm going to multiply by 6. 6 times 0. So in the end, we get an answer of 10,560 yards. And so by figuring out 1, then I can use some multiplication or possibly some division to solve this problem. All right, here's a sample problem getting you started working with converting units from the different kilometers metric system or dealing with the imperial system or the US standard system. That is lesson 74.